Hello, candidates. I'm glad to have you once again on the platform. The subject is meetings, compliance, and administration. Today, we are winding up the chapter on members' meetings. So far, we've done 11 subtopics. Today, we are on the last one, number 12, requirements for keeping records of corporate resolutions and meetings. Requirements for keeping records of resolutions and meetings. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the requirements for keeping records of corporate resolutions and meetings. And candidates, in the corporate secretarial practice, the keeping of records is not just an administrative task. No, it is not just an administrative task, but a strict legal mandate under the Companies Act, because these records serve as the corporate memory and they are the primary evidence that the company is being managed according to the law. So there are requirements for maintaining these records. And we are going to group these requirements in 5 categories. Then, of course, we will explain briefly the consequences of non-compliance. Because you said it's not just an administrative requirement or an administrative task, but also a strict legal mandate. Maintaining or keeping these records is a legal mandate under the Companies Act. So first of all, we are going to discuss the types of records to be maintained. Types of records to be maintained. 1. Types of records to be maintained. What are the types of records to be maintained? It is important as we are discussing the requirements to know the types of records that are to be maintained. And candidates under Section 317 of the Companies Act, every company must keep records comprising of minutes of general meetings, number 1, minutes of general meetings. In this lesson, in this chapter, we're discussing members' meetings. So there is the statutory meeting, we have the AGM, we have the EGM, we have special meetings, we have meetings of the debenture holders, and so on. So the minutes of general meetings is one type of record that is to be maintained. That is in accordance with the Companies Act, Section 317. There ought to be a formal record of all proceedings at annual general meetings and also the extraordinary general meetings. Another type of record constitutes the resolutions passed outside general meetings. Resolutions. These are resolutions that are passed outside general meetings. This includes all written resolutions that are common in private companies and any resolutions that are passed by class meetings. The third type of record is details of sole member decisions. Details of sole member decisions. This is another type of record that has to be maintained. Details of sole member decisions. Now, for companies with only one member, there ought to be a record of any decision taken by that member that could have been taken in a general meeting. Of course, you may have a company where there is only one member holding 100% of the shares. So the details of that sole member's decisions also forms part of the types of records that to be maintained. The fourth one is minutes of board meetings. Minutes of board meetings. These three are in relation to the members' meetings, but there are also minutes of board meetings that form also part of the records are to be maintained. Under section 210, minutes of all proceedings at meetings of the directors must also be recorded and kept. So these are important types of records to be maintained. Then let's move on to statutory retention periods. Statutory retention periods. Number 2, statutory retention periods. What do we mean by statutory retention periods? Now, the law is very specific about how long these documents must be stored. Let's begin with the members' resolutions. The members' resolutions. Members' resolutions and minutes. What is the retention period for members' resolutions and meeting minutes? Now, this must be kept for at least 10 years. Must be kept at least 10 years. They are kept at least for a period of 10 years from the date of the relevant resolution, meeting, or decision. So the members' resolutions and the members' minutes has to be retained for a period of at least 10 years. Then the other category of meeting, the retention period of directors' meeting minutes, directors' meeting minutes. What is the retention period for the directors' meeting minutes? For the directors' meeting minutes, this must be kept for at least 7 years. At least 7 years. These are kept for a period of at least 7 years from the date of the meeting. So these are the statutory retention period for both the members' meetings, which constitute the resolutions, and also the directors' meeting minutes. So that is the statutory retention period. We are moving on to the location of records. Candidates, we are studying the requirements for keeping records of resolutions. We first of all analyze the types of records to be maintained, the statutory periods. We are moving to the third requirement, which is location of records. Location of records. Location of records. Now, records should generally be kept at the company's registered office. This should be kept at the company's registered. These records are kept at the company's registered office. Or it could also be the designated business address or designated business address. Understand, candidates? Yes. The registered office. This is number 1. In relation to location of records, we have the registered office. Then there is notification of location. Notification of location. What do we mean by notification of location? If the records are kept at a place other than the registered office, then the company must notify the registrar of companies of that location. Notification of location. where the records are kept. If they are not kept at the registered office, then the company should notify the registrar of companies where the records are kept. Then, of course, we have physical versus digital. Physical versus digital or electronic. Now, while many companies are moving towards digital storage, the Act allows records to be kept in hard copy or electronic form, provided they are capable of being reproduced in a legible hard copy form. That is a very important requirement. Location of record. Then moving on to the inspection rights, we have inspection. As we discuss the requirements for keeping records and resolutions and meetings, it's important for us to also discuss the inspection rights. Records of resolutions and meetings are not purely private. They are subject to inspection, first of all, by members. There is what we call member inspection. Member inspection. Any member of the company has the right to inspect the minutes of general meetings without charge. Then there is requesting copies. Requesting copies. Members can also request copies of these minutes, which the company must provide within 7 days of the request. And this may be at a small fee. All right, maybe at a small fee as allowed by the articles. Then there is also director's access. Director's access. What about the director's access? Directors always have a right to access the minutes of board meetings to fulfill the fiduciary duties. So the directors have the right to do what? Access the minutes of board meetings. That will enable them to carry out their fiduciary duties. Understand? Yes. Then lastly, candidates, let us discuss authentication and evidence. Authentication and evidence. Authentication and evidence. Now, for records to be considered conclusive evidence, and this is in a court of law, if the records are to be considered conclusive evidence in a court of law, then the minutes must be signed by the chairperson. 1. The minutes must be signed by the chairperson. The minutes must be signed by the chairperson. Understand? Yes. And that is the chairperson of that meeting or the chairperson of the next succeeding meeting. And once signed, it is presumed that the meeting was duly held. You understand? It also means, or it is presumed, that the appointments of directors or auditors were valid and the proceedings were legal unless proven otherwise. Unless proven otherwise. So, candidate, these are the requirements for keeping records of resolutions and meetings. Before we bring this lesson to a close, let us discuss the consequences. What are the consequences of, this is number 6, consequences. What are the consequences of non-compliance? Because these are legal requirements. What are the consequences of non-compliance? If the company does not comply with these legal requirements, what will be the consequences? Now, failure to maintain these records is a criminal offense that can attract fines. Is a criminal offense that can attract, number one, fines. The company and every officer of the company in default, including the company secretary and the directors, can be liable to a fine of up to 500,000 Kenya shillings. A fine of up to Kenya shillings 500,000. That is the first consequence of non-compliance. There is also the consequence of governance risk. Failure to comply exposes the company to a governance risk, because lack of proper records can lead to the piercing of the corporate veil. It can lead to piercing of the corporate veil, making directors personally liable for company actions, or even resulting in the company being unable to prove its decisions during an audit or even during a legal dispute. So that's the end of the lesson, candidates, as well as the end of the topic on members' meetings. We've done 12 subtopics. We covered all the aspects of the members' meetings. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Below this video, there is a comment section where you can post your questions, and all your questions will be answered. I need to inform you that over and above the video lectures, we also have hard copy books in form of study text, which we've developed in accordance with the KASNEB syllabus. We also have a revision book dubbed Revision Partner, where we've answered all past paper questions for the certified secretary subjects. The books are topically arranged, allowing you ease of revision. The books are also updated up to the last KASNEB examination sitting. With all these materials, candidates, you are in a better position to prepare adequately for your exams, and also to gather the necessary knowledge, skills, and competence for you to practice as a corporate secretary. The materials can be accessed in our office at Pioneer House in Nairobi. Also, you can get these materials on our website, www.manifestedkasneb.com. Thank you for attending the lesson. In our next session, we move to the next topic. We are going to ensure that all the lessons, all the topics are covered. We are doing every chapter, every subtopic. We are covering each and every aspect of the syllabus, so that you are well equipped to gain the skills that you require in your profession. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.